say if I see someone running in front of me, like, oh, that person is running faster than you and he's gonna kill your family. So you have to catch him. If you don't outwork this guy, he's gonna kill your family.
Yeah, buddy.
So it's like those types of things that I think about, and I just kind of psych myself into my brain. And I actually yell when I'm running too. People kind of look at me. I always say, let's fucking go. Screaming out loud. Got my headphones in.
Unrealism.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Unrealism podcast.
Let's
We're
go.
your hosts, Jason and Boris. And we've got our good friend and very special guest, Matt Chow, with us here today. The man himself.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
How are you doing today?
What did I do today?
No,
Oh,
how are you doing today?
Chasing dreams. Oh, how am I doing today?
You ran 100 kilometers.
Fantastic.
Muscle Beach.
Fantastic. I think
Jason said I had an hour to work out, and I tried to bang out as much as I could in an hour. Now I'm super sweaty at the end of this podcast.
I'll be ready to go at any time, right?
Always.
I think that's kind of like, okay, to give the listeners a quick brief, Matt's a good friend. We definitely want to cover a lot of things and just like freestyle everything. We haven't caught up with him in a while, but we want to talk about things like dedication, mindset, and challenging yourself, because I think out of all the people I know and I've ever come across in my life, I'll tell you this, Matt, you're one of the most dedicated people I know in terms of like physical activity and just like conquering goals and challenges. So we did a goal or a challenge this last month in April where we did something. I'll let kind of Boris dive into that challenge and explain what we did.
Holy fuck. I got a call one day from Mr. Lou over here, and he goes, let's do a challenge. We're sitting at home. Let's do the Murph. I'm like, what the fuck is the Murph? And he says it's this thing, like this workout that's based on a Lieutenant Murph who passed away or who died in combat in Afghanistan. And this was his favorite workout. So we're about to do like a Marines workout. I'm like, okay, let's go. And basically what it is you start with a 1 mile run. You do 300 squats, 200 push-ups, and 100 pull-ups. And then you end with another 1 mile run. So to me, this thing sounded fucking crazy. Like to Matt, this is like breakfast, right? To me, I started thinking, holy shit, I'm going to have to do like ice baths every day. Like there's no way I'll recover from this. It's going to take me all day to do it. And now that we've done 30 days, I have a completely different mindset about, first of all, my abilities. Second of all, Matt, I'm going to fuck you up. And third of all, like, I want to keep going with it. It's sort of become a lifestyle now in a sense, They say you can create a habit within 21 days, lifestyle in 90. So let's get there.
So would you say you'd want to do another 30 days of Murph?
I want to do something a little bit different. Like I've gained a lot of endurance. I think I'm in like peak shape for endurance because I've always hated running, and I know you're good at that shit. But maybe I want to shift it to something different just to keep it interesting,
Well, do you want to work on like a weakness or something, or do you want to do kind of like a total body type thing? Because
what's weakness? I don't know that word.
I mean, neither do I. It's not in our vocabulary.
Yo, but I love Jason proposed for the listeners that don't know, Jason proposed a new challenge for May. We get to chill a little bit, but why don't you tell us, sir?
I won't even say it's chill. Like we spent April doing something like quite physical, and like it was a challenge that was nonstop. Like you think that you need rest days and everything. I think even after like my second workout, I'm like, how can I do this many push-ups for 30 days straight? It's just like, it goes and defies every ounce of like recovery and bro science that you think you might need, right? But then like I think people spend a lot of time at the gym, but they don't even spend a little bit of time on their minds. You know what I mean? Like they'll go to work or like fucking do all this shit that takes a lot of cognitive power, but they don't train their brain. So for the month of May, 30 days of at least 10 minutes of meditation every single day. That's a challenge for these two boys here.
And I think for me anyways, that's going to be the toughest thing for me because I'm always a go type of person.
Yeah.
So to slow down and really be still in my mind, I've actually never done meditation properly before. Like I've tried to be still, but I don't think my mind is still racing. It's still wandering. So I'm actually not present. And I just find that to me is the hardest thing. And it is training your mind in a different way, because I'm a really big advocate of, building mental strength. And how I do that is just do some crazy shit. Once I conquer that, I'm like, yo, my mind is solid. But to me, sitting still for 10 minutes is terrifying, because I'm like,
different muscle.
Yeah, it is. And I have the outlook thinking that I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of change your mindset and any activity you do to the correct mindset or to a different way of seeing it, then you kind of approach it a different way. So I'm going to try a few things and kind of tell myself, I'm not wasting time sitting 10 minutes. I'm really reflecting and then kind of understanding certain areas of my life through this quiet time. So I'm excited.
I feel you on that, because I looked at it the same way. It's kind of like long distance running. It feels like a waste of time. And it's like, oh, fuck, I'm going to be bored after 20 minutes. Why am I doing this for an hour, And like the type of meditation that I want to do this month is mindfulness. And for people that don't know what it is, it's just you breathe in and out like usual to survive. And then you just try to have no thoughts, basically. But the thing is, thoughts always come in. And like I've talked about mindfulness meditation with other people before, and they go, well, how the fuck do you do it? Like I can't, after 10 seconds, I start thinking about something. I'm like, congratulations, you're fucking human. That's what's supposed to happen. It's not like no one's going to sit there for an hour and have nothing come into their mind. The whole point is you sit still, you breathe, and then when your mind wants to think about, I fucking said that stupid thing yesterday, or, oh, I should do this later, you just tell yourself, not right now, later, or like, that's okay, peace, or something, whatever gets you through it.
Yeah.
And what it becomes is like a curl. So you're still, thought comes in, you wave it away, and that's one set or one rep. That's a curl. And that ends up being like a mind workout in a sense. And then you do that for however long you want to, and you strengthen your mind. You build patience. You build a lot of things, Anyway, that's
who's the one that thought of the meditation challenge? I mean, I really like the challenge, but which one of you guys thought about it?
Jay Lou thought about both of
the ideas, man, and then like I just need to drag people down with me,
Yeah, but he also incorporated. He wanted to do meditation, no fap.
I still think that's a wonderful challenge.
I think it's a hard challenge too.
I'll
do it if Forrest does it. Yeah, true.
No, but Jason has a girlfriend, so he doesn't get to have sex. How about that?
Yeah, but that's like detrimental to any relationship. That's a different challenge.
I
mean, if you guys can get over that hump, then you guys can get over anything, really.
Yeah, get over that hump, Jason.
On no fap, I'll have to, I really think, okay, I won't throw no fap in there, but for the three of us, I think meditation is just a good one. Like even myself, I've only done 7 days max. And like for some reason, I can't spend 10 minutes out of the day to just shut the fuck up. And it was guided too. I bought this like, shout out Headspace. I bought this app and it was like really wonderful. They had like a free trial and I got introduced to it like, I think 7 or 10 days of non-stop meditation that's guided. They kind of coach you through everything, teach you how to breathe properly, what the mindset is, animations, all the works. But once I purchased it, I maybe used it like 20 times at most in the year, and I canceled it. I'm thinking like,
is it a subscription?
Subscription, yeah. So every month I pay like $8.
I'm not into the whole app thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, like as long as you're like, the goal is to put in the work and with like the goal of achieving, for you, mindfulness. For me, like I'm just too restless. Like I need something to calm me down. And Matt said you wanted to be still because that's what you're scared of, right? I think as long as you find a tool to get you there and put the time in, whether it's YouTube.
I disagree with it. I don't like it.
That's fair. What I'm going to say is that you will disagree and I will disagree, but there will be an option where you'll find success in your own way. Like you might use nothing. I might use classical music. Matt might use like $100 a month app that just rocks his world.
Dude,
Hell no.
Dude, we're supposed to be
I'm a
sitting
cheap
in a cave.
motherfucker.
You got to be sitting in a cave in a robe, staring at a wall. Like they didn't have apps when Buddhists in like 500 AD didn't have fucking apps to help them find serenity. You know what I mean?
You didn't want to go to prison, eh? You just want to stare at a wall and be in captivity.
Yeah, we can get into that, but yeah, sure. That's definitely every artist romanticizes prison on some level. Not for the reasons you two are.
You read my mind there. I'm like, damn, really? Artists really think that? All right, let's simulate it. What do you guys think about doing it? Like, what time of the day? Do you think that's important?
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys prefer doing it early in the morning, or like before you go to bed, or midday?
Yeah, I think you should be doing it for sure in the morning as like a priming. You prime your mind for the rest of the day, because this is what happens when you have a stressful work call and you want to react like a son of a bitch. Because you've already primed your mind for peace or whatever you've primed yourself with. Maybe you keep meditating on like, I need to be confidence, or whatever it is, right? You will exude that energy that you've meditated on. So when that asshole calls you, you'll have that kind of in your back pocket already. You know what I mean? But it's also important to have some sort of pre-bed priming as well, because whatever you put in your mind before you go to sleep is going to be swimming and registering in your mind while you're sleeping and as you wake up, right? So I would say cut the stupid app out. We don't need the apps here, okay? It's like doing the Murph with training wheels, or like, whatever, splitting it up to 100 sets. Do it in the morning and at night. That's my...
I love how we're discussing it like we're meditation gurus already.
Yeah, I don't know shit, by the way.
Like, disclaimer. I appreciate never tried it before.
You just gotta go and do it. Honestly, like if you said, like if it's in a cave, you're staring at a wall, like you have no excuse. You just fucking do it, right? But if you need an app to get you started and that's what it takes, then pay for the fucking app. You know what I mean? Like just get going. But
if you're a listener, don't be a bitch and just fucking do it.
I also have no doubt that you two like will just do it regardless, like whether you have.
Well, Maddie downloaded the stupid app, whatever. Anyways, okay.
I did, yeah.
We'll call it a different.
My friend recommended it to me. That's
guys,
why.
Well, I'm gonna probably start an app in 4 days because I'm gonna realize this is hard.
Yeah. So who's meditated today? Because this is day one. Who's done it yet?
Dude, I did a workout, and I meditated episode right before.
Wait, you cut out?
Did I cut out?
Cut out for us.
I said I did a workout and a meditation specifically before this podcast for Matty Chow.
Same. How about you, Matt?
I like that. I'm gonna start before I go to bed. So I'm gonna give it a go. It's my mom's birthday, by the way. Shout out to my mom, Jack and Van.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So when they have dinner, I got to give them a call.
She's raised a very quality son.
Yeah, she don't know that. She don't know the dark side. she only saw half side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start tonight.
Start tonight?
See how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, I wanna go back to the Murph, because like it was tough for me, I'm not gonna lie, and Boris shared his experience. Yo, Matt, how was it for you?
Okay, so when you guys brought up the Murph, so I've done the Murph. First time I did the Murph was probably back in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to do it on a track. So it was like a little bit way more controlled, a lot easier because I had the pull-up bars there near the track. So I got a true sense of the time and how you can do it.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding to now, redoing it again here. It's a little bit difficult in downtown Toronto because of the terrain that you're in. But for me, Boris and I have been doing another challenge, doing 100 push-ups a day, every day for I don't even know how long. I've been doing it for probably since the beginning of the year. So the push-up portion was whatever.
Yeah.
The pull-ups, I tried to get better every time, but I would seem to always max out at a certain rep range for the first set and then just conk out.
Say how many.
Yeah, just let them know. 50?
Okay, so pull-ups, if I do pull-ups, it's like 43. Yeah. And then
You're going all the way down.
Chin-ups. Like, yeah. But I feel like I can do a bit more because I'm doing a pull-up on a tree. So it's like a little uneven.
I'm sorry, because like I can just imagine just, like, downtown Toronto, there's like no trees or greenery whatsoever, but you just found a tree and you're like,
I honestly look like a psycho.
Good.
But yeah, so for me, it was like trying to do it again. The goal is to do it as quickly as you can, but another goal of mine was to do it as little sets as possible for each thing. So that like the most I can shave off on the pull-ups was 3 sets, and then push-ups I can do it in 2 sets, and then squats the most I can do it was I had to break it up into 3 sets because like when I do the run
in 2 sets.
That's dirty, man.
Wow, yeah. That's pretty wicked. Wait, and how many sets for the squats you saying?
I have to break it up in 3 because like I go balls out on the first mile.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty gassed by the time I get to like do the body weight stuff.
Yeah.
So I use the squat for me anyways as my rest period, and then I try to go as fast on the last mile. Yeah. But then the last mile my legs just feel like lead.
What are your like typical 1 mile times?
1 mile, I usually run okay, so if I'm just running a straight mile, it's usually like 5:30 maybe. Or maybe 5, just around 5 minutes.
That's disgusting.
But if I'm doing it for like a marathon and I time the miles, then it's around 6.
So what was your best Murph in the whole 30 days?
Best Murph?
Yeah.
The whole 30 days?
Yeah.
I would say it's like 38 minutes, 37, 38 minutes.
What?
That's disgusting.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Dude. Like I was able to get it down to 37. Yesterday was my record day. But I timed 37 before, but I had my distance a little bit wrong because of the app. So yesterday I had the time, like the distance and everything, right? I got to 37, but I broke my sets down like way more than you. And I would jump from push-ups to sit-ups or from squats to pull-ups. I didn't do it straight like you.
I think if I had the more controlled terrain, so I didn't have to like run in between weaving traffic and stuff, I think I can lower it down a couple minutes. But
yeah,
I found like I was between 40 minutes and 37. Like I was always in that sweet spot.
That's nuts. We got to build our Murphs up to like where we have the 20-pound.
Oh yeah, I definitely need to do that because that's the actual one, right?
Yeah. You do everything with the 20-pound weight.
Yeah, I think the record set was like, was it 32 minutes with the 20-pounder?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
It's crazy. That's crazy. I think it was like in the 20s for no best.
But the Murph, I don't think they ever recommend you do it for 30 days straight, right? Like.
No. So like if Maddie was actually competing for it, his time would be completely different. And if he was on a track, like I know myself, like living in the city, you're going down the elevator, like then you have people, you're weaving through traffic. It's not like optimal. Yeah.
So I remember when you brought it up and you guys did it the first time, and you guys we were in the chat and you guys were like, yo, this is fucking hard.
Yeah.
You guys are like completely gassed and you guys are showing the times. I think for anyone who wants to start Murph or like even just think about any activity, I think the goal is just everyone should just be thinking, I just need to finish it. Don't even think about I need to get a stellar time. I want to beat a certain time. Whenever you're trying something new, just complete it. I think that's a mindset that everyone should take when they're they're doing a new activity or doing a new challenge. That way you can build that confidence saying like, you know what, it's not as crazy as, people say it is, or like what it looks like on paper. I finished it. It took you an hour and a half the first time, but you completed it. So now you know what it feels like. So you build that confidence. You're like, okay, what can I do the next day to just shave off a minute or two? And I find a lot of people in particular, just whenever they try to tackle a goal, their buildups to trying to get better, they're just too big. So they say they hit a plateau and then they get discouraged. But if you just make small incremental gains every day and you compound that through years and years of consistency, like you'll be unstoppable. Like nothing really seems impossible at that point, because you're like, I've built up all this mental strength and mental capacity just to like do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And nothing's gonna stop you. So for anyone that wants to try something, just complete it. I mean, I don't recommend people say if you want to squat like 400 pounds, go and do it right away. But like just, squat today.
Yeah, calisthenics.
Tomorrow, add 5 pounds every 2 weeks. That shit adds up, right? So
that's good advice, man.
Yeah, I think that's a big issue with a lot of people that want to take on challenges but are scared.
Yeah, man. I felt like, a weekend, my whole body was just in shambles. And the quote where they say like, if you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. That quote became absolutely real to me during the Murph. Like, I don't know if it was real for you guys, but there were days where like my hips out, my knees out, but I have to complete it, like you're saying. So there were days where I, like, part of the run, I had to walk it, and that's it. There's no shame in
that.
Dude, I have two comments. I'll address Matt's first. So it's crazy because our last guest, he was like a more business focused guest, and he said the exact same thing, but for his business and his work. Just like small incremental gains every single day, just crossing off to-do items. And then like over a year, you'll see your business grow. You kind of said that for like any physical or mental challenge. So like, that's crazy. It just applies to every aspect of life. And Boris, dude, I was going to quit like halfway through. I'm not going to lie to you boys. But like, I liked how like none of us complained. Like we had a chat going, but we really didn't like, I could have went on every single day and just like talk some shit. You know what I mean? Like when you try to do something with your boys or your friends, like even the girls, like just friends, you want to complain and just share misery. You know what I mean? But I like how like we just shut the fuck up and we all just like went at it.
We just joked about it. I'm pretty sure I complained like 29 days out of the 30. But we joked.
It wasn't complaining. You're just stating facts. Hips hurt, calves hurt, can't feel my arms. Typical things we feel every day. We're getting older now too, so it's like body doesn't recover as quickly as it used to.
I would lie to myself and be like, Jason, if you continue this, you will sustain. Because like I have like my shoulder cuff has just had problems, like both of them, right? Through like weight training and shit throughout the years. But I fully just convinced myself that if I don't stop the Murph and I don't back out, I'm going to tear my rotator cuff, and I'm just gonna like spend the next year as a upper body vegetable. You know what I mean? Like I fully convinced myself that was gonna happen. It was just your mind.
My favorite joke that we had going around was like Jason Wu, Boris Moshenko die in what is it, March 2020 or no, April 2020, and it's like because it's COVID time, right? But due to a stupid fitness challenge.
But like,
what's crazy though? For like, push-ups should be the safest thing on your shoulder rotator cuff, and for that to hurt you, that means that like you really, there's something like misaligned there. But you checked it out like plenty of times, right?
Yeah, I think I know my because push-ups were no problem. It was my pull-ups. So I got like this bar, and then my form is usually good. Like if I had like a gym pull-up bar, I'd like just extend my legs and keep everything pretty neutral. but I think I just tried beasting it one day, and I had like a really weird swing to it, and my cuff just got.
Oh,
Yeah.
brutal.
But like it was painful. I just warmed up like crazy, did some mobility, and like after the workouts, I would feel better. So it was really weird. Like I thought if you keep adding on like work and volume and you don't give yourself the rest, you'll burn out. But like I feel like really good. I'm like ready to Murph some more, you know?
Yeah, I found that myself too. Is like you're just tired, and your mind's saying like, "No, your body needs rest. You shouldn't do this." It's like that alert that you have that's telling you to like not pursue things, right? It's that side of your brain. And then once you get through it, and you're like 75% in, the animal like turns on, right? It's like Maddie's 7 persona basically comes into play.
Yeah.
And then I feel great too. Like some days I'm ready to do another Murph after I'm done. You feel so like energized, right?
So what, like, it's easy to say, like, when we're in a position where we're not working out, it's easy to look back in hindsight and say, oh yeah, we did this and this worked. But in the thick of things, when you guys were, let's say, running that last mile and you were dead tired, like, what was your motivator? Like, how did you guys bring the animal out? I want to know. Like, what's your personal take?
Go ahead, Maddie.
Okay, so I have I usually think of two things
This is the sauce.
that drive me.
Carefully,
that drive me through any physical challenge or activity. So the first one that I tap into is the fear of getting outworked by you guys or whoever's challenging me.
Okay.
Or anyone really.
How
So
do you
the
say
fear
it?
of getting outworked.
Oh, the fear of getting outworked. You cut out.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
So that's one thing that I always tell myself, like, oh, say if I see someone running in front of me, like, oh, that person is running faster than you and he's gonna kill your family. So you have to catch him. If you don't outwork this guy, he's gonna kill your family.
Yeah, buddy.
So it's like those types of things that I think about, and I just kind of psych myself into my brain. And I actually yell when I'm running too. People kind of look at me. I always say, let's fucking go. Screaming out loud, got my headphones in. And I usually say like, oh, don't be a bitch, let's fucking go. And that's usually how I hype myself up. But I like play out scenarios that are life and death. Mm-hmm. And if I don't complete it, or if I don't find that extra gear, someone that I love is gonna die. And it's really real in my brain. I don't know if like anyone can really muster that scenario out, but it's a really fucked up situation that I can kind of bring out. For example, when I ran a marathon near like maybe the last 2K, I didn't think I had anything left in the gas tank. But then I just like reached into the cookie jar, pulled out, oh, someone's gonna die, fucking found a way to blitzer. That's right. So yeah, it's a interesting mind imaginative thing that I can do when I'm doing any type of exercise or physical activity.
Am I cutting out still? Like it keeps kind of wavering in and out.
No, you're good right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, that's extreme. I can't say everybody can tap into that. I gotta try it sometime because like I do think like the whole don't be a bitch kind of thing when I'm approaching any physical activity. And it's a very extreme and like I don't want to say negative, but you're kind of like muscling your own brain, you know?
Yeah.
Like Boris, do you kind of we've worked out together plenty of times and we kind of have that same mentality. It's like, yo, don't be a bitch. Like I think a lot of people who like go to the gym, like when they're approaching a set, that's kind of what's going through their head, right? It's like, just get it done. What are your thoughts?
Just get it done, I guess. For me, it's pretty competitive. Like I find out with a partner because I need to like prove something or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it works better for me when there's someone there almost watching my pain. The other thing
that works to that.
The other thing that works for me is like someone telling me that I'm like that I suck, and then I want to show them how good I am. You know what I mean? That's the other one. But what, like,
Okay.
together, we did some runs. Sunday was our run day, and he took me on I asked him to do a 5K because I hadn't ran in a long time. This is our first one, and we start running, and I'm like, damn, this run's taking a lot longer than I thought. And I look at my phone, and it's like we're already at 4.5 kilometers, and we've ran one direction from my place. So I'm like, okay, he's taking me on 10K, and then I have to do all the things that, like, I had just read David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. And if you're watching this podcast right now, fucking turn it off and go listen to that book, because it literally changed my life and all three of ours, I think. But when we got to the end, I remember we're like 70% in. Remember I got that like second wind, Maddie?
Yeah.
And I started like bolting it, and then you were like, who's this guy? And
so this was probably, so I took Boris on a unknown 10K. I knew we were going to do 10K. He didn't know. And generally, like, we went pretty quick for the first 5-6K. And then probably towards 8-9K, when most people would taper off, he found this second wind, and then he started keeping pace, and he started pushing my pace. So I was running pretty fast, I would say.
For the record, Maddie runs like pretty fast.
He was pushing my pace, so I had to keep up with him. And I don't know if you guys are from, like, whoever's listening, if you guys know where Bloor Street is. It's just a super long street in downtown. He pushed my pace for a good, I would say, like, 1.5 kilometers going back towards university. This is coming all the way from Ossington, so it was a long. Because I thought I had lost him like way back at 5-6K when we were running, and then all of a sudden I just hear this.
The reason I bring it up is not to say that I got a second wind or whatever, but it's that second wind was nothing to do with like my physicality. You know, it was literally just the cookie jar. I borrowed a little idea that always has bothered me, that's been painful to me. And when I took that idea out and that thought and that memory, I had to run, you know, and that just proves to you that you have way more in you than you think when you're in that moment of pain. And so when we stopped running, Maddie's already got into this, but like when we stopped running, I go, Maddie, so like that second win, I thought about this and this. What do you think about when it gets hard? And he's like, my family dying. I'm like, I thought about some like nothing even close to that, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And I tried using that trick, but it's not for me.
Yeah, because like, okay, it's interesting that you said, like, you know, Matt's is definitely like, if there's a spectrum, his is on the extreme side, and I think
yeah.
But the Boris, your way actually like is different from mine too. Like,
what's yours?
I think of it, and this is like, I don't purposely think of it this way. It just pops into my head. But I think that like I'm on stage, or like I'm in a platform, like a TV show, whatever it is, like there are just people watching me. And the whole idea is like, if I cheat out on a rep, like if there are a bunch of people watching me perform or like do this exercise, I won't cheat on the reps. You know, I'll go all the way down for my squats. But there's no one watching. I'm by myself. So if I wouldn't lie to random people, why would I lie to myself? So that gets me like going, like, don't lie to yourself. Like, you're doing this for yourself. Like, if you wouldn't quit in front of other people, why would you quit for yourself? So that takes that like competing with others element out of it. Like, I'm only competing with myself.
Interesting. That's a good one.
It's like my mind kind of defaults to.
Well, that feeds into your musician thing, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I'm just doing the reps, and I'm like, I notice they're getting shittier. I notice that I'm like not pushing myself. But if I was with somebody else, I would. But like, I'm not doing it for the other person. I'm doing it for myself. So that it just like it goes full circle, and I just get shit done.
I like to use either someone who's like really hated on me in the past, or like someone who's who's like hurt me, and then I just when I'm running, I'm like, fucking show you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like it's really silly when you think about it, but somehow that thought just creeps in and it gets me going. So can't hate on it, right?
Very different methodologies. I like it.
Yeah. Can you imagine Goggins' brain when he's at like 70 miles?
That's insane. Yeah.
What do you think's going through?
Crazy.
Is he picturing his father beating his mom or something like that?
He's had such a hard life that has so many things to tap into.
Yeah.
That running 70 miles is a breeze for him, just because he's gone through so much torture in his life. And I feel like a lot of people that have gone through struggle, I think they're just able to just tap into something a little deeper than people who've lived a very comfortable life.
I think that's like really sick for people who are trying to improve. Like now that we've done this challenge, like personally speaking, I'm ready to do harder challenges, like physically, you know? But before I wouldn't even question like doing something crazier than this. I want to do like, I don't do a lot of long distance running, but like I want to do a marathon sometime in the summer. I want to do like a half this month. But like before the hurdle was so high because I just didn't know what I could do. But now I'm just like, yo, let me try this, let me try that. Like,
yeah, man, just jump into it. I don't think there's going to be any half marathons this year that are there, because a really nice one to run is the BMO.
Yeah.
In Van. It's probably one of the nicer half marathons that I've ran before. The Lululemon one is sick too.
Yeah.
Not for you, Jay, because but for Boris, just the amount of the ratio between men and women is insane. So you'll have no shortage of motivation, that's for sure. You might even veer off. You might even just like not even follow the actual path. It's crazy. Like shout out Lululemon. It's crazy.
Lululemon, they revolutionized fashion. It's horrible.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think dude, like no excuse. I'm definitely gonna just like hop on like a greenway or something, but there's not a lot of traffic, and just like try it, like a half, and then a full one eventually.
Do you guys?
Jay, the thing is, like you've like biked crazy distances too.
Yeah, like
and I would say that's just as hard as running. So now you've done that. You know what it's like. So it's just the difficulty is going to translate. You'll be fine. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm just excited to do it. Honestly, I want to fucking crush it, and then who knows what's next, right? Like, what's another crazy fitness challenge we could do?
Dude, look at that guy's traps, man.
Is this going to be a video thing, or is this going to be just a sound link?
The video.
It's a video, and we're gonna cut your section, put it on Pornhub. That's where we're making our money. Want to buy it?
Asian gay section. Did I ever tell you the time that I got there's like peeping Tom at the YMCA, took my pictures naked and put it all over like gay websites? Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, we'll include the link to the gay website below for all you listeners.
Dude, I wanted to bring that up.
Jeez, I was a hot commodity at the Pride Parade that year. I didn't even know why. I'm like, why am I getting so much attention? Damn.
Yeah, someone videoed and photoed Maddie at the YMCA for obvious reasons. I mean, look at this guy.
Well, they needed the extra zoom to find. It's like, hey, is this guy supposed to be in the men's change room?
So Matt, you've been pretty like good with your fitness regimen and your diet and whatnot. Like,
yeah,
like maybe for some people who are like struggling in just like keeping a good routine, just like not even challenges. Like, if you're trying to get started in the gym or stay consistent, like what would you advise them to do?
Oof. I mean, you hear the things all the time, or the cliche things. It's just go. And I'm a real advocate of that. Say if you have a shitty workout, it's better than doing no workout. first of all. And a lot of people, when you go to the gym, they actually don't mind helping you too. So if you're like a newbie person who's just starting off, how I got started is when I went to the gym, I remember all I did was bench press and curls. And I did that for like 6 months because I didn't even know what triceps were. Like I didn't know any muscle. I didn't know how to work out legs, whatever. I just thought biceps and pressing. And then I just saw like these super jacked guys at the gym, and then they were powerlifting and just doing all these different movements that I didn't know. And I kind of just observed, talked to people. And 9 times out of 10, everyone's always down to help. You'll find the occasional person that's a dick, but that's like a dime a dozen type of thing. So again, the main thing is just go and don't be afraid to ask questions and learn from observation. And also work full body functional movements. If you're a beginner, you want to build like a base. So you want to do the compound moves like squats, deads, bench, pull-ups. And you just want to build that, I want to say that thickness. And then eventually once you build those blocks, then you can start getting more intricate with the bodybuilding, if that's what you want to do. But for everyone that starts off, like the first year of gains that you get from if you're a new lifter, it's like exponential. It's crazy. So you want to make the most out of that. So again, just go and
build on the just go, because it's easy to say for people, and like I've had that mentality too, but a lot of thoughts get in the way when you wake up in the morning and then you're like, just go. You can think of a million reasons why not to go, right? Like we've had during the 30 days. So like what kind of tricks would you use to not let those thoughts stop you from actually going? You guys have tricks like that?
See, the thing with my mindset though is, and again, not everyone's going to view fitness as this way, but like fitness to me, the feeling that I get from it, it's like what Arnold says, like it feels like sex to me. So why wouldn't I not want to have sex every day? So, but then that's obviously a way different, different mindset, different feeling from that.
Yeah.
And another mindset to have, or I think could help, is there's nothing more tangible that you can do, and you can see literally results right away, whether it be internal, like how you feel, or physically how you feel or how you look, and going and exercising. Because it's a visual kind of note showing you how much work you've put in is a direct correlation of how you're going to like feel and how you're going to look. So if you half-ass it, you're going to obviously not feel as good, not look as good. So there's just a direct correlation between effort and like the output. I don't know if that's what people need to see, because like a lot of people say when they're learning something and they don't have anything tangible to show each day that show that they're getting better. With weight training and fitness, you can literally say like, I got better today because I lifted a pound more than yesterday. And you have that exactly right in front of you. Mm-hmm. So that's why I find it's very like powerful and empowering for people to go to the gym, because the numbers don't lie, right? And it's like, I'm going to be better than yesterday because I'm going to even lift just a 0.5 pounds more. It's better than yesterday. So if people have do people enjoy just getting better and just improving day by day? A great way to do that is just go to the gym and just lift just a bit more than you did yesterday. Do that one extra rep than you did yesterday.
But it's like, I'm listening, and like, this is definitely more for people who like don't go exercise often, because like Boris and I definitely we try to stay as active as possible. But like, that's all foundation. That's the crazy part. Like everyone wants some secret sauce that's not steroids to fitness. and that's why like fitness is such a huge industry in terms of like selling products, selling fitness plans, when it's like all you need to do is show up, put in the work, and do a little bit more each day. But it's the least sexy part of fitness that no one like loves talking about. And like even people who have like gone this far in the podcast, they're probably going to hear like, yo, I know this shit, but like they don't apply it. And I think that's like kind of they don't just do it. Like they forget that it's so simple. Like you just get your ass to the gym, you fucking lift a little bit, you add a bit more the next day. But the eating, but they do say a lot of it is like, you know, your abs are made in the kitchen, not the gym. Right? So like, what are your thoughts on like diet? Like, how about that?
So I'm not a big dieter, to be honest. I'm a big advocate for balance. So obviously everyone knows what shitty food is, what bad food is.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like how much protein you should have, how much carbs you should have, fats, I just think everything should be balanced. So a really easy way to kind of portion control is like every portion, like say your protein, just have it the size of your fist. Your carbs, size of your fist. Vegetables, size of your fist. And then you just have that trifecta, and that's a meal. And then you can have, you know, basic 3 meals a day, depending on your goals. Have a little bit more, have a little bit less. But the main thing is if you're trying to like your bulk, if you want to bulk or if you want to cut, it's not to go excess over the calories that you need or deplete yourself from calories you need. It's actually a very fine line between how much you should increase your calories and decrease. But you see all these people, oh, I got a dirty bulk. Yeah, that's great and all, but I personally don't like dirty bulking and getting overly chunky and then feeling like shit and then having to cut.
Yeah.
I just like to do it slowly. So there's this thing that people should know. It's called basal metabolic rate. So that's the baseline calories that a person has to consume if they're just sitting down for the whole day and doing nothing. So you can find it online. You can find a calculator. It's pretty easy. You just have to input some statistics about your body metrics, and then you multiply it by a factor of how active you are. And don't lie to yourself. Don't be like, oh yeah, I go 7 days a week, so I can multiply it by the highest factor, so I can eat more.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But so generally, you find that number, and that's your baseline, and then it will tell you if you want to, you know, put on muscle mass slowly. You'll eat like 200 to 500 calories above that number. If you want to cut fat, you'll eat maybe like 200-300 calories below that. So it's a really structured way to do it. But at the end of the day, everyone's body is different. Everyone knows what feels good and knows what doesn't make them feel good. So just listen to your body. But again, it's harder said than done because everyone likes to follow some sort of strict regimen anyways, for diets.
I'm like you as well, man. Like during the 30-day Murph, I didn't really diet specifically. I was hungry. I ate. I added a few more carbs to my diet because you told me to, because we're doing a lot of running. I felt like eating a box of cookies. I did that. You know, I just went with like what I was craving. You know, I feel like your body just kind of knows. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. As long as calorie output is greater than calorie input, you're golden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you want to like sculpt your body and do bodybuilding, then that's when you have to be a little bit more specific with what you put in.
You got to be scientific. But none of us are like going on stage next year, so eat healthy.
Just want to feel good.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't really. I wouldn't recommend the Murph for anybody trying to get build out crazy body composition. It's just not like you're not going to go on stage and be the next Mr. Olympia doing this. It just doesn't make any sense. No. But it is like a huge mental exercise as well. So I can't say like we didn't train our minds, but we were doing it in a very restless way and just like hammering the goal. That's why I'm really pumped for this month. Like I can't
I
wait.
gotta say though, like I sculpted a little bit from it. Like my body looks different than 30 days ago. My back is definitely like a little bit more developed because you're doing so many pull-ups and I was doing different types of pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff. So I don't think it was that bad as far as a sculpting workout either.
One
For
thing
me at least.
that like, cause like one thing that's fucking with me is that how did we not overtrain? Like, how is this not overtraining? Like, now I don't really understand what overtraining really means. Because like I've
Yeah.
gained muscle and I did not need to recover like nearly as much as I used to think I needed to. Like,
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up. I kept thinking about that too, because that was one of my self-limiting beliefs. And now, like, I want to ask you guys about this too, by the way, is like the thought I had in my mind is that we're able to do way more than we limit ourselves with, right? That we believe we can do. And this just showed that we can go 30 days. And like Jason said yesterday to me was, if we plan to do a 60-day Murph, we could probably do that too, no problem. It's just about, having that as your thought, having that as a goal, right? So, I don't, yeah, like I feel like just getting through it was just was more of a mental exercise than a physical one in a sense, right? You change you change like the parameters of what you now believe that you can do. Because now I think I can do way more than the 30-day Murph, for example. Now I feel like I can do it with a 10-pound vest, you know? So it's about like moving a little bit more and more. And it's funny that Danny brought this up in our last podcast about business. And he had these like, you know, for him, there were grand dreams of making 200K a year and buying a nice house in a nice neighborhood, having a car and a wife. And he goes, now that I've started this Amazon business, I'm making more money. My dreams have expanded. My goal has expanded because now that I'm making more money and now that I'm running a business, it's like less of the world is dark to me. I see more potential.
mm,
And the thought that I always get in my mind is like, but what's like the infinite possibility? Are we just like blindfolded to what we know? What can we actually achieve? And that's where like I get goosebumps and I start getting all, creative with like what can happen. So like Maddie, like for example, how do you get yourself from 43 pull-ups to 50? Like how do you push past your barriers?
One rep at a time.
mm.
And some days I'll know, I'll be like, okay, I feel fucking good today. I got good sleep. Like I was killing it at work. Mindset's right. I feel good. I'm gonna push today. I'm gonna push for a new PR. Certain days I'll be like, I'm tired. I didn't get good enough sleep. I didn't eat any lunch or whatever. So there are days where I know I'm not gonna be as optimal as I could be, and there's days where you know what, I feel really good. I'm gonna push the limits. So it's just finding that balance between pushing and then scaling back, and then pushing more and then scaling back. And just to like go back to, I was thinking about why we didn't burn out from this, and what considered kind of overtraining. Did you find your central nervous system like at any point during the Murph like just kind of depleted? We felt okay right after every Murph that you did every day. Like you didn't feel like mentally bogged down or anything like that, right?
Some days, like
Some
especially
days.
in the beginning. In
Yeah,
the
only
beginning,
one day near the beginning, I recall, like I just needed to lie down and like chill.
yeah, I
So
was
like Jay, remember those times when you would do like your power lifts and then you do one RMs, two rep maxes,
Yeah.
and like how'd you feel the day after?
Like the soreness was different. Like I would feel like when I was lifting weights, I was definitely carrying more fibers. Like I felt pain. But with this one, it was less like muscle soreness in that way. It was more just like
Yeah.
a weird, like, yeah, I just need to lie down for a sec kind of feeling. But once I got over that, and it was like I never felt sleepy during the day. I never needed to nap or anything. I kind of always had energy from like the day I woke up. Sorry, the time I woke up to when I went to bed. So
Yeah, I just don't think we had enough like macro tears in our muscles for us to like require
yeah,
multiple days of recovery. And even like for recovery, I actually don't really do any like still recovery. It's always some sort of active recovery. I'm always moving. So all the people that want to take a day off, there is no day off. Go for a walk, hop on the bike, cycle for like 10, 15 minutes. Just get the blood flow moving because that's the most important thing.
yeah.
That's why I did a workout today, because it's like I almost had to. I can't sit still anymore.
I'm gonna feel bad if I stop working out. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah, I thought I was gonna lay on the floor and eat ice cream on day 31. Honestly,
Hell no.
but
Let's
I
keep it
woke up and
going.
I'm like, I have to go for a run today.
did you do the Murph or did you just do a run?
I did a run and a bit of a workout. I just didn't have time, but I'll
The real
make
question
time.
is, what the hell happened to our fifth, our fourth, Murph
Well,
member? Where
we
the hell
had
did he go?
we had two guys fall out. We had two guys fall out, and like multiple guys just be like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing that."
No, it's funny. I had people that I remember, like, 'cause I posted it up and everything. I tried to get at least 10 people to do it, so it'd be like a crowd of us. And a bunch actually said, like, you know what, I'll try it. And some said, like, yeah, I'll do it. And then when I said it's for 30 days straight, they're like, what? What's wrong with you? Why would you want to do that?
Yeah,
So there's like people get interested, and they like. I think the first day it hits really hard, but that's for anything. Like the first day of an idea, you gotta let it marinate because you know who's really gonna do it and who's not. I goes for anything. It's really funny. I should have like just like compiled all the responses. Like, yeah, that sounds interesting. Oh, I'm down. And then day 2, like no one's there.
I didn't realize you got like you asked more people. I thought it was just us four.
No,
But I guess you did say you were post. You say you were posting on your social media.
yeah. And I'm just like, this could be a fun thing. Like everyone's quarantined, right? They're just chilling at home, or they're complaining they don't get to go to the gym anymore.
Facts.
But a lot of people just like wouldn't want
yeah,
to.
and all the no's got me nervous about doing it. It's like you're in a crowd of people that are like, nah, this is not possible, and this is gonna break my body, and you start believing the chatter. You know what I mean? I think that applies to a lot of aspects in our lives, to be honest. So surround yourself with Maddie.
You guys inspired me. I totally forgot about the Murph. And then you're like, yo, let's do the Murph 30 days. Never done it for 30 days.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, I'm down. I like this. Let's get
Yeah,
it.
you're the guy that if you ask to do anything physical, you say yes right away, which is
Hell yeah.
what's dope. So that's what's dope about you, sir.
So are there any other like big challenges that because we'll touch base and we'll have a quick chat about how the meditation went after May ends, but is there any other physical challenge that you guys might want to do for 2020?
I don't know if I told you guys I signed up for the Ironman in Mount Tremblant. It's supposed to be in August. Supposed to be in August, but I don't know if it's gonna go down. Who knows?
Probably not.
They've tentatively canceled it.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be my 20, and I was supposed to fight in a jiu-jitsu tournament too.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. I started like back last summer.
Yeah, it sucks, but there's a lot of positivity coming out of the quarantine too, I think. Just being on our own and self-reflecting. I think it's healthy for a lot of people.
But okay, so even with the Ironman tentatively canceled and the jiu-jitsu tournament, that means we have more time to do some more fucked up shit, right?
Hell yeah, let's go, baby.
You know what challenge I've had in mind, but I don't really want to do this yet, is learn how to backflip.
Okay.
I've
Yeah, we can arrange that.
don't mind trying.
Because that's mental. It's very physical. You got to really work your legs and your glutes.
There's the really cool gymnastics gym in Delta. I forgot the name of it though. I'll find it and send it to you guys. But you guys can go there and do drop-in, and they have all the the facilities for you to practice all that stuff. So I remember I went to the first time I tried doing backflips into the foam pit, and then I guess I didn't jump backwards enough, and I smoked my face on the edge before falling into the pit. Hurt so bad.
Wait, so have you ever landed a backflip before?
No.
Dude, I'm in the same boat then, because I went to a couple drop-in sessions and I got the back handspring, which is what you're supposed to learn prior to.
Yeah.
But I've never actually landed a full backflip, so I'm down for that challenge.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in the vault. Because it'd be nice to at least me and you, Jay, to go to a gymnastics gym or something.
I think another one where you guys should Jay, have you done the Grand Fondo?
Yeah. You
guys should just bike up to Whistler.
I might do the Fondo again this year.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Because that one is it's in September, so I think it could be things could blow over by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. But even if it doesn't happen, just hop on the bike and get her fucking going, bud.
That's the thing.
That's true.
The Sea to Sky Highway, people love going fast on it. So it's you're biking 20, 30 kilometers an hour at most, for me at least. And then you got 100, 120 kilometers an hour just going by you. It's scary.
Yeah.
That's what, going up to Whistler?
Yeah. Stanley Park to Whistler.
Or just bike over to Boris's place in Cloverdale. Is it Cloverdale?
No, I'm back downtown now.
Oh, you're back downtown.
Yeah.
Shag pad.
I was with the grandparents now. I'm in solitude.
I love how you're still you're ripping up paintings quite often.
Oh, buddy.
Like it.
I gotta finally get rid of that stupid car painting I have on the wall. Get you something real. No, I'm kidding. It's nice. It's got that Cuba vibes. No, I'm just kidding.
When I get my own place, I'm gonna have to buy one of your pieces.
My paintings look like that pillow you have to the right of you, without the smiley face.
Anyone wants to buy beautiful paintings, hit up Boris. They're unreal.
So Matt, if people like the chat and like your mentality and want to connect with you, where can they find you online?
Oh, I actually pretty much got rid of all social media, but you can.
That was a loaded question.
You can drop me a line on my email. It's mattehewchow22@gmail.com.
Yeah,
anyone in Toronto wanna work out too? I'm down.
Maddie does personal training as well on the side. He's
training some old ladies right now. Cyber training. Nice. It's quite fun.
So speaking of that, that's something that I find interesting about you is you're pretty fucking jacked, and you do all these crazy physical challenges, but you never really advertise it or talk about it. And going back to how do we get ourselves to do things? For a lot of people, it's a reward system and social validation. And I feel that doesn't feed into you at all, because if God put me in a body like yours, it would be on the front page of the magazine. but in your case, it's hidden by, today by a skimpy shirt, but usually in you're wearing sweaters and shit in the summer.
Usually I just have nipple stickers. This is a lot of clothes for me.
Well, why do you? First of all, I want to ask two questions. Why you're not on Instagram? Okay, I think that's really important. That actually will be a good challenge for me and Jason, is to get off Instagram for a while.
Yeah.
And two, talk to me about your reward systems. and why like the social
The reward
validation
systems.
aspect.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Jason and I started a podcast just to tell the world that we did the Murph, and you don't give a fuck if anyone knows.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all for you, right? It's everything you do. It's for you. It's for yourself. So if you don't get motivated off that, what's really going to move? What else is going to take away everything? Say literally, the world's ending. Not the world's ending, but take away all the glitz and glam. What do we really have? It's just you just have yourself. So if you can't appreciate that, then what's the point? But to go back to your first question, I got rid of Instagram because of two things. First thing, the more generic one, is I was spending way too much time on it. And like I would just waste a lot of time just scrolling through and just looking at random shit when I could have been, applying my attention elsewhere. That's like what everyone says when they get off Instagram. The one that is more truthful is I was a savage on Instagram, like just being a dirtbag, a scumbag. So trying to like be better in a sense. So like not be so much of a scumbag and just DMing chicks.
Like self-purifying type of shit or
what? Just be more intentional, I guess. Just be more upfront and not try to beat around the bush when you try to like hunt on chicks. Be more be more intentful. Is that the word?
No, I know what you're saying, because when I met you, I guess almost a year ago, you were going through that transition, I think, right?
Yeah. And so it's being less of a playboy, and not having girls and pleasing girls for the sake of like my own ego, and really, if I want to connect with you on a deeper level, I'll do that. But just having multiple conversations and trying to talk to like several girls at once and pleasing them it's fun for a bit, but eventually you got to grow up and
was there a thing that and not was there a moment or a thing that like made you kind of switch that mentality?
Yeah, I would say like I hurt a few girls at the same time.
So was that
sorry?
It was empathy that like got you going on this, or what? Or did a girl reach you out and you're like, okay, I'll never do this again?
That wasn't reaching me out. It was just more, I kind of realizing how selfish I was, and like I guess I was lying to myself, trying to validate myself in a way.
Okay.
Through that avenue. And it kind of snowballed where I realized I was like trying to validate myself by hitting on more women to take away from the fact that I'm not where I want to be in life in terms of my career. So like I'll mask that insecurity by like going and seeing a lot of girls that validate who I am as a person.
Wow.
It's like, oh, you're in finance, like you got your whole world together, but really, and like with it, like inside, I'm not happy. But then these girls are just like, wow, you're so nice, you're somewhat well off, all that stuff. So it kind of builds my ego, thinking, what? Maybe I am in a good place. Maybe I am this is where I'm supposed to be. But truly, when I step back, I wasn't happy. I'm still not happy where I am. There's a long road ahead of where I want to be. I want to be financially independent. I don't want to be in the financial sector anymore. I want to run my own business. But that's a ways away. But to get there, I need to just cut the bullshit, be real to myself, be more true to myself, and not let the outside cheerleaders per se, or like let these other people think that, I've already made it. I haven't. I'm nowhere near to that. So that's kind of, why I got off it.
That's so honest, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Cause it's hard to say, but social media is like a cheap hack into getting validation through anything. Yeah. It's like you could think anything in your life is doing well if you're like getting good likes or your business is getting like good attention or whatever, but it's not like real. It's like you're just trying to fight for attention that like peaks your dopamine. So it's tough. It's tough because a lot of people, like, they built their entire lives around their, I guess, appeared success online. And like I feel a new wave of people really trying to get off of like social media. It's tougher now, like because of COVID and people are inside. I see a lot of social media kind of increase. Like people are just like, they want attention because they're just at home.
Oh yeah,
they're posting a lot of weird shit. They're trying TikTok, but it's always going to be
TikTok. Like, that's a savage thing. I have my cousins showing me some TikTok accounts.
Yeah,
Woo! There's some baddies on TikTok.
It's like
this is ridiculous.
I don't have TikTok. I've looked at it a few times, like, but it's just like a softcore porn like app to me. It's unreal, like, because you'll see like these chicks that are just like, they're dancing, they're in like bikinis or whatever. Like you're just like, what is this? But there's like obviously a good side of TikTok where creators make like funny skits and things like that. But like, yeah, the app. Can you
DM chicks on TikTok?
I have no idea.
No,
barely use it.
Yo, Jay,
that would be a problem. Yeah.
Jay, let's say we're serious about. Let's say we want to take on Maddie's mentality as far as social media, because I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah,
everything he said is like resonating with me as far as like, you know, the attention, and then you self-validate.
Yeah.
But like, let's say we got to run businesses and advertise them using social media. How do we get around that? Like I made my personal account, like my art account, so I can make an excuse that it's for business, but I use it personally as well. And I still get those, like the negative loophole that you're talking about. So what do we do, Jay? Give me the answers.
Yeah, I think about this all the time because I'm personally not, even when when Facebook was Facebook was our time, like that was like kind of the biggest thing, and we hit IG kind of at the right time as well. But I was just never good at social media and sharing stuff about my life. Like stories was fun and everything. But I feel like people need to view it as a tool too, especially if you feel like it's consuming you or it's bothering your productivity. Like if your output is greater than your input for building your personal brand, your business, your connections with people, I think like more power to you. But if you feel like it's taking away, like taking you off a different path, you're doing it for the wrong reasons or for no reason, just to get attention, like you might want to reevaluate that. Like it could just be like people watch Netflix, people do other things, like have different hobbies. Like having a social media account could just be a hobby of yours. Like you don't watch any TV, you don't watch any Netflix, but you spend a lot of time on IG, whatever it is. But if you're building a brand, like I feel like you need it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to myself. If you're not harnessing the power of social media, like just you don't have a platform. Like you have nobody to listen to your voice, learn about your business, see your art, listen to your music, any craft that you're involved in. If you don't understand IG and how to use it properly, like you're at a disadvantage. That's
so
my
what should I do, for example? Like should I just build up way more discipline as far as surfing through Instagram? Because so my phone broke like a few days ago, and I didn't have a phone for about 24 hours, right? And I felt cleansed. Like I felt like a new man, for real. I didn't go to sleep with my phone. I didn't wake up, and the first thing I did was like, let me get all these notifications and shit. And I felt like I was in a different world. But I'm clearly very addicted to social media because I gravitate towards my phone every 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, you know. But like I gotta advertise my stuff. So what do? Give me the answers, guys.
Dude, I'm horrible. Yeah.
Of course, you are the business. So like it's kind of harder for you because like your corporation is you, right? So you have to sell yourself. So Boris, can I talk about your other business?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a, for people that don't know, I run a design and animation company, and then I have my personal painting world on Instagram.
Well, I guess when you say it like that now, I was thinking of it differently, but it's both. Everyone's wants to view your work, but I think you as a painter versus your company as like a design company that you do projects for companies. It's I don't want to say it's not as personal, but like your artwork is a direct uh, just like expression of how you view life and how you feel. Because like the way you paint something is how you view it. So it's really correlated to who you are as a person. So if people don't know how you are as a person, then it's hard for them to understand your artwork. Whereas the other business, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're taking direction, but it's more the client wants this, you give them ideas and it's back and forth. Whereas your artwork is, this is how I see it. You told me one thing and this is how I view it. So I think they need to know you as a person on that side of the painting business, like when you're doing your paintings. So that part I think is a little harder because they need to know who you are. So I don't know how you separate those two. And then
I
again,
think,
it's your intention too.
yeah, I think it comes down to that core of my intention, because you end up using it for reasons that you don't need to use it for. And if this really is just a professional tool in order to advertise whatever the fuck you need to advertise, then we're using that tool wrong. We're basically taking a hammer and hitting our heads with it, you know. So I gotta work through that somehow. But you've inspired me, sir. Thank you. You're inspiring me to not use Instagram for the
There's
purposes.
nothing wrong with using Instagram. It's just you can't use it like how I use it. It was just
Yeah.
straight being a savage.
But like it's all of these platforms eventually become one. Like IG effectively for like a period of time was everybody's dating tool. If you're single, like you would communicate with new people like using these apps, and Instagram was just a great way. If you had like a good setup of your profile and like you saw somebody that you like, you just shoot a message. That's like the DM. Like I feel like it's a tool. People can meet their like potential lifelong partners.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Sure.
It's a tool. Like once again, like if you're finding that you're like just dicking around and not doing like not getting any value of it out of it, then it's just entertainment.
Maddie, how do you meet girls now that you're not being a savage online?
I don't really, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a little harder, I would say, without social media. Not gonna lie.
I can hear them
I
yelling
generally
outside your window.
what?
I hear them yelling outside your window.
It's usually mostly now from like friends of friends, and even then, like my friend circle in Toronto is not that big, so it's a little harder to meet people, I would say here. I'm starting to meet a little bit more people through like my jiu-jitsu training and like the running community that I joined. But yeah, in terms of like meeting girls to meet, yeah, I'm not super active on that, to be honest.
Interesting. So you've taken your focus off of that completely.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm working on a few projects, and I'd rather spend my time there than chasing tail. When I'm ready, I think when I'm ready to like settle down, then I'll start looking. But right now, it's like let's grind it out. Let's elevate myself. Anyways, I need to get to that spot where I'm content. But this is another thing that I've been struggling too with is, so like for me, one of my goals before moving to Toronto was just to get out of Vancouver and to work somewhere else. And when I did that, goal completed, I thought I'd be happy. I'm not happy. Yeah. So at what point do like all these goals that you put on, like, do you put on your kind of like your dartboard and you start knocking them one by one? And it's like, oh yeah, once I get to this part, I'll be happy. complete it, you accomplish it, you're like, fuck, now I want to do this. I won't be happy until I do that. So for me, I'm trying to figure out how do I conquer these goals, but yet stay true and content of like the moment kind of thing. I don't know if that made any sense or not, but
No, it does. I feel like Jay has better insight on happiness and being content than I do.
Yeah, no. I like to follow this one, like these two things. But long story short, it's like your grass, and this is for me personally, your grass is greener where you water it. And I found that too. Like I did the whole move to a different city because I felt I needed to let go of like a different path that I was heading down here in Vancouver. And that's why, like, you know, we were able to experience like Toronto for a short period of time together when I moved out there for 6 months with Boris. But I definitely like, I'm starting to value a bit more of not being so irrational and doing crazy wild things, like just like moving or whatnot. I'm starting to believe like in that incremental growth, whether it's through happiness and peace. Like it's not through very huge tectonic shifts. Because like it's a tough one. Happiness is something that people live and try to figure out through their entire lives.
their entire life.
So it's like, if you do water and just really focus on your mental health and just like, you can crush all these crazy goals. And I hear it all the time from my friends that are super successful. They had this big goal and then they reach it and they're just like, fuck, now I just need to find a bigger goal. Like they're not any more happier.
Yeah.
They just look a little better and look happier to other people. But inside it's like, they didn't focus on that core reason. They just found huge goals to kind of make them feel better and create that weird feedback loop, right?
Maddie, I think you're just chasing your own tail, to be honest. I don't think happiness is about achieving it and finding it and unwrapping the box and now I have happiness. It's just about continuously pursuing it, like the way you are. You've literally cut out the negative. Like you have a lot of willpower. So I got to give you a little tick mark for that. You recognize the negativity in your life. You've cut it out completely. That takes a lot of self-discipline. Like it's really difficult to cut out Instagram, cut out dating, whatever, all the things that you cut out in your life.
Move to a different city. Yeah. Like, cause you committed for like a few years. That's definitely.
Yeah.
So it's,
who knows what happens after this.
Yeah.
That's what excites me though. The unknown. I get hard off that shit.
Yeah.
there you go. I see the savage is still in you.
No, but like you put yourself in these uncomfortable positions because like usually growth comes at the other end of it, right? Like I'm not gonna knock the experience that I had like in Boris. I don't know about yourself, but like, dude, like it was tough. Like I was definitely chasing something, and for you too, like you just wanted a big change, and sometimes you do need that. Like I will like, you know, put my foot in my mouth and say that sometimes you do need a tectonic shift in your life to like start a landslide, you know what I mean, of good growth. So I don't know.
I needed that move personally.
Hey, yeah, same. I agree.
I think for both of us, this applies is that we had bad habits and we had these like I guess patterns of behavior that moving kind of broke, right? We had our friends, it was summer, we were partying a lot. I had just gotten out of a relationship. So like a change of place was refreshing, right? But I feel like you and I moved differently than Maddie. Maddie probably just bought a ticket and was gone the next day with like a soldier bag.
Actually, I didn't tell it. Like I really did tell my closest buddies that I was moving until I got to Toronto. They're like, "Yo, Matt, you're coming over?" Because we would always get together every Sunday for like during the football season, but I left in the summertime. But we always link up on the weekends, whatever. Like, oh, Matt, you coming? I'm like, no, man, I'm in Toronto. They're like, oh shit, how long are you gonna be there for? I'm like, oh, I moved here. They're like, what the fuck?
Years, bro. Okay, see you.
But then the crazy thing is, did I ever tell you my I guess a month and a half before moving to Toronto? Did I ever tell you my Europe trip in like Vegas?
No.
Oh man. Okay, so So I got this job. I got the offer. So this was back in 2018. I got the offer in February. And then they're like, "Oh, can you start?" This is my current job right now. So I flew out in January to Toronto for all the interviews. Got the offer in February. They're like, "Oh, can you start?" I guess it was like beginning of May. But I had already I didn't even know I was gonna get this job or whatever, and I had booked to go to the World Cup in Russia in June.
That's right.
So then I like finessed it somehow. I'm like, oh, can I start near the end? Like, can I start the end of June? Because I didn't really negotiate anything. That was the only thing I negotiated my start time. Everything else, they just like, they had it written down. So I was like, okay, whatever. So they're okay with it. I'm like sick. So I'm like, okay, should I like work until like I leave to the World Cup, or should I just quit my job now and just chill and then head to the World Cup? And then Jeff, I don't know if you, Boris, have you met Jeff Jung before?
Juicy?
Juicy, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've met Juicy.
So Juicy's like, yo, Matt, we should go to EDC. So I was like, I wasn't even planning on going to EDC, and this was like maybe 2 weeks before EDC. So I'm like, okay, thinking about it, I'm like, I'm gonna be spending a lot of money if I go to EDC and head straight to Europe from Vegas. But I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, what a crazy story this is going to be. Just telling people, like, this is how I transitioned from Vancouver to Toronto.
Yeah.
And everything in between. So like maybe 2 weeks before EDC, we're like, fuck it, let's go. Don't even have tickets to EDC. We're just like, okay, buy a ticket, fly down to Vegas. We'll figure out the house situation. We ended up staying with our buddies who rented a house. And then just rocked it in Vegas. First time at EDC. Anyone that wants to experience the best rave that they'll ever go to EDC. Everyone has to go to at least one time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One time. Fucking rocked it at EDC for 5 days. Then flew from Vegas to Berlin and then started my journey from Berlin to Russia, like everything in between for like a month and a half. And then once I flew back from Russia, I had a day to pack. And then I flew from Vancouver to Toronto the day after I came back from Russia. So literally had no time to see anyone really. Mm-hmm. So I haven't seen some of my close buddies for like two months before I even left. So I didn't even know. So the guy I was traveling with, he knew I was going because there was only two of us in Europe. But yeah, I tell that story all the time and people are like, what the fuck? You did that? I'm like, yo, you only live one life, man.
That's a great way to
do some crazy shit.
Like just
start a new like chapter in my life. I'm like, yo, let's go with a bang.
So wait, how was the World Cup? I didn't even know you went. Like, was that Euro trip a good one? Like,
yeah. So honestly, that's probably my favorite trip of all time.
Yeah.
So I ended up I went to Berlin, did Berlin, Amsterdam, shout out Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Then we did Croatia. So we did Dubrovnik, Split, Hvar, Zagreb.
Oh yeah, went to all those.
Yeah, and then we did from Zagreb. We went to Budapest to Prague, and Prague to Moscow, and then Moscow to St. Petersburg, and then I did St. Petersburg to Helsinki. I spent a couple of days in Helsinki, and then I flew from Helsinki to London back to Vancouver.
Fuck, I miss traveling.
Yeah. So where would you guys want to go if once all this shit is done?
Dude, your apartment, man. I miss Matty, dude. Matty was like a gem that we met in Toronto. You know?
Yeah, I miss you guys, man.
I miss you,
it's
sir.
Not the same.
Yeah, for sure. The three of us spent a good amount of time together.
Good amount of time.
Yeah.
Just getting creative. Like I missed having guys around with the same mindset that, we're here to work and we're here to have fun, but we're here to work. And I feed off your guys' energy. And I find that there's only so much, again, I can pull out from the cookie jar when it comes to certain things. Mm-hmm. Like with fitness, I can just do it on my own. But when it comes to learning new things and trying to build let's say a business, or when you're working on your music and when you're working on your painting, just seeing you guys work in your field, like, fuck, I need to level up and like be where you guys are at. So that's why I appreciate always hanging out with you guys, and
No, dude,
it's
but
super well rounded.
One thing that I respected about you was that you're like taking these photography classes, and we came over to your place. You had a piano. And you're like, yeah, I'm learning piano. Like you find the time, A, and B, like you have kind of a drive to just learn these new skills. And this is actually, I want to jump into that for a sec, because I think it's good advice for people that aren't like 100% stoked about their job. And you have a great job, you're making great money, and like you wear a suit and tie to work, you're a big boy, but you're
So
like
white collar criminal.
Like you told me, you're not like, you weren't born for this job or this career, I guess. Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, that's completely
And
spot on.
so what Maddie's done is he's tasting and exploring. He might become the world's most famous photographer. Maybe not, but at least he tried this course, and now he knows that photography is not his thing. I don't know. And piano and so on. So like, I think that's the best advice to give people here. Just fucking
100%.
taste. Just taste. So I really respect those attributes about you. You're not, you chase your tail so hard that you end up spinning in circles and trying new things.
So what okay, because this is what I'm excited to ask too. Like, what can we expect out of you, Matt? Like, what do you have some goals for yourself in the next like year or 3 years? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
Okay. So for next year, I guess, hopefully I'll be done my CFA next summer.
Okay.
That's like a short goal.
All 3 levels? You'll be a charter holder?
So I mean, ideally I would pass level 2 this year, and then pass level 3 the following summer.
Okay.
So that would be a short-term goal.
Yeah.
But even though I know I'm not going to be in finance for the long term, for me, it's like I just want to get this done, because I'm already in it, right?
Yeah.
3 years from now, I want to have a restaurant. I want to open up a restaurant.
Oh.
So right now, I'm me and my business partners, we're looking at different cities to open. Mm-hmm. And we've figured out our concept and how we're going to start it, what we're going to do. So that's kind of the 3-year plan. And then I guess from 5 and 10 years, just grow that hospitality brand and hopefully be a global player in the hospitality industry. And it's going to be interesting because given what's happening now and all these new regulations that are going to be happening, it's the people that are going to be innovative enough to find the nice little pockets. So I'm very excited, because I don't want to say it's like starting at the bottom of 2008, 2009, when all these companies just got shit kicked from the financial crisis, and so much innovation came out of it. I don't want to say it's like that, because in the restaurant industry, there's only so much tech that you can put into a restaurant to make it more operational and streamlined. But at the end of the day, people are there for the atmosphere, the food, like the physical, tangible things.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see like what interesting concepts or ideas that we can come up with that. But that's kind of where I'm heading. That's where I want to be.
Okay, hospitality, dude.
I'm like super tasting it.
I remember you briefly told me you were working on something, but like you're fully like you want to be in the hospitality space and restaurant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Future
restaurant.
We're gonna watch this episode 3 years later and just be like,
yeah, this fucking guy didn't do shit.
No. I think we're gonna have it on the big screen of whatever restaurant or place you open, and we'll play it back. We'll definitely have to play it back.
Yeah. You boys eat free all day.
Oh.
We'll do the Murph and have a nice post-work.
Hell yeah. What about you guys?
This is your podcast, not ours, baby. Like,
we asked.
You asked me the questions. I just supply the answers. All right.
That's a loaded one,
dude. I'm stoked to do meditation May with you guys, though. It's going to be an interesting one. And I'm
Yeah,
glad.
so how do you guys want to? I mean, like we were texting each other to keep us accountable for Murph, but I just know you guys were just savages and just did it, so I don't really need to hear about it every day type of thing. I feel like for the meditation, for me anyways, I'm gonna try and like update you guys on what I've been struggling with it, just because it's a new concept to me, and I know I'm gonna have a hard time. So maybe I'm just gonna shoot the shit with you guys, see what you guys think. Tips, anything that can help.
I wish we could do a sensory deprivation tank. That would be just taking it up a level. Have you guys ever tried one?
No idea what that is.
Really? It's basically a tank filled with 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts and body temperature water. So you float. It's so salty that you float, and the air temperature and the water temperature are your body temperature. So it's completely pitch black. So you sense like you're in space or in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And when you meditate hard enough, I guess, you separate your mind and your body, and it's an unreal experience. You can hallucinate in that box. It's absolutely unreal. Mr. Matty Chow, can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. This is a question that I like to ask all our guests because I think it will open up a few things about you. What would you do if I gave you all the money in the world?
I'd travel.
What would you do after you finish traveling?
I'd open up a restaurant, open up hotels, hospitality.
Okay, so you don't even need my question. You're already on the path.
That's right. I mean, it took a while, not gonna lie, but I think, like you said, for everyone that's listening, that's kind of lost, it's way easier to figure out what you don't like to do than what you like to do. So just the key thing is just to keep on doing things.
You might hate owning a restaurant.
I might. You never know, right?
But
again, I rather try doing it than not knowing. I'd rather do and fail than not try it and live with regret.
So my next question would be, what would you do after you owned a restaurant for 10 years? I'm assuming your answer would be to try something new and to keep tasting what the world has to offer. Is that right?
Stole the words right out of my mouth.
I like that philosophy, sir. I think that's inspiring to me too, because I feel like I've found the thing that I want to pursue for the rest of my life. But I keep finding little things that I like, and it's only going to add to my pursuit. So thank you for that eloquent answer, sir.
Anytime, Boris. Anytime, Jay. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, dude, this was fun.
Once again, if people want to reach out and just like connect with you, I know you don't have social media, but what's that email address again? I'll put the link down.
Yeah, it's matthewchow22@gmail.com. So it's MATTHEWCHOW22@gmail.com. Yeah, feel free to hit me up. Ask me any questions, whether it be about finance, moving to a different city, working out, or just shooting the shit. Always down to meet new friends.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Matty.
Thank you.
This is dope.